Hello everybody, it's the 30th of April today, and I'm going to be working on both of these hornbeams in this video. Each has their own playlist, so this will be one video that I will post into both playlists. So hopefully this explanation will explain to anyone who comes across this video in one of the playlists and thinks, oh, that's a different tree than I've been following. Two for the price of one. As I say, it'll be just a one video in both playlists. So I'm going to start with what I've always referred to as my skinny hornbeam, although it's not as skinny as it used to be. And the first thing I want to do is round the back here. Now that I'm completely sure, or mostly sure shall we say, that this grafted in branch is still alive and taking well, is I'm actually going to cut it back quite hard, because it's very long, very much of a thickness all the way along. So I'm going to chop it back to this branch here, and then put a piece of wire. Or am I going to put it back to that one? No, I'm going to put it back to this one, and then I'm going to put a little piece of wire just to persuade that branch out in that direction. It'll give it an interesting no, not take all of that back. This is what happens when you film on the fly. So I'm going to chop it right back to that branch, which I will put some wire on at a later date, but for now I'm going to leave it. That'll definitely give it some more movement and some more taper, and I can persuade this branch to come out into this quadrant once it's got enough thickness on it to wire. Okay, so what else am I going to do with this? I'm going to pinch back and prune back all of this new growth that's coming out and starting to elongate now. So I'm just cutting it back to a couple of leaves at a bud pointing in a direction that I like, and I'm just going to go around the whole tree, chopping. What I don't want is the tree getting completely out of shape, because these branches will elongate quite quickly now, and the tree will quickly lose its shape. And what I really want is for these branches to put on a little bit more ramification. So just going around, trimming it out, and I'm bound to miss a couple, but I can get them as they come out later. And this tree is definitely shooting more strongly at the base than it is at the top, which is unusual, but not unheard of. Some of these at the base I'm leaving slightly longer, because obviously I want the tree to be wider at the base than at the top, so that we got a vague, well, the books all say a triangle shape, but I've never really seen a triangular deciduous tree. You get deciduous conifers, Christmas trees and the like, but you don't really see deciduous trees growing as conifers do in that conical shape. They're usually much more, as I say, of a dome. Had a bit of dye back here, so that can come off. and as I sure have said in a previous video, the tree will respond to this, thinking, oh, I've been nibbled at, I've had a goat eat me, some aphids eating all my leaves, some caterpillars or whatever, and should, in theory, throw out a whole new load of shoots to replace the ones that are missing. Viewing that a little bit closer, and then you can see, hopefully, that I'm just taking it back. I won't be leaf pruning this tree, either of them, this year, because they were repotted this spring, and it's not a good idea to do a major leaf prune on a tree that's been, or in the same year that it's been repotted. Take out some of these bits. There's a bit here that's growing down and underneath, and I'm going to leave it to grow out and elongate, and that'll just eventually come out, and as I say, we'll get that kind of dome shape. Okay, working on the top now, and some of these shoots haven't shot very much, for want of a better description. So some of these I will leave, like that one for example, and I will let it elongate a little further before I chop it back. It won't do the tree any harm. In fact, it'll probably be good for it to let it get a little bit hairy, as it were. Okay, so there we have it. That's more or less set this tree up for growing on for the rest of this spring. Some of these extra shoots that haven't quite, as I say, shot, for want of a better term, I will pinch out, cut off as they begin to extend. I'm going to have to keep quite a close eye, make sure these wires don't cut in too much, and once this branch has grown out a little more and firmed up, I will put a piece of wire on that to bring it out into this area. Otherwise it'll sit on the bench and be fed and watered. Let's look at the other one. Just a quick shot with the drinks can for scale, in case you're picking up this video as new. And I forgot to mention, this branch at the back is going to need severing from the main tree at some point, but I'm going to leave it attached for one more season and sever it next winter, when I'm absolutely certain sure that this graft isn't going anywhere. So it's going to be the same process for this tree as the other one. Again, Coke can for scale if you haven't seen this tree before. It's leafing up nicely, hasn't got the same amount of ramification as the other one. I spent a lot of years building a trunk on this one, and consequently it's perhaps not had as much development in the ramification area, but the same deal. And if we start with this branch, it's the same deal. I'm just going to be cutting it back to a couple of pairs of leaves, pointing in the direction I like, especially these branches that are sticking straight up. That should now branch off in that direction, and then maybe a little piece of wire next winter and bring it down, and make it look a little more sensitive to the world. I'm not even sure what I meant by that sentence. I opened my mouth and the words tumbled out. Sensitive to the world. No idea. No idea at all. Affected by gravity, maybe, something like that. If you know what I was trying to say, let me know in the comments. Sometimes I wonder about me. Okay, anyway, enough blathering. Just cutting back the growth. And the tree will shoot again. Again, with this, there are certain shoots that will need to be cut away later, and that'll be, well, a semi-ongoing process until the tree settles down midsummer. Oops. The turntable on the bench, that's better, so it's not wobbly. No point in having the tree on a nice turntable if you haven't got it sat flat on the bench, because then it wobbles all over the place, which isn't helpful to anybody. Okay, I will shut up and carry on trimming. Okay, so there we go. Again, a few little shoots here and there that'll need cutting back as they outgrow. I have a dead branch here, which I'm just going to remove right back to the main branch. Other than that, the tree's responded well to its repot, and it looks a little sparser than it did a few minutes ago, but hopefully it will respond well. So, quick 360 of this one, and yeah, I'm happy with the way both of them have responded. As I say, this single video will be in both trees playlist, just for people to follow along and follow along the tree. They'll get all of them that way. Nothing left to say except do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, the commenting. Let me know what you think, but most of all, please, please, please look after yourselves. Stay safe, everybody.